Okay. Hello, folks. Sorry about the wait there. Okay, let me pull up the stream so that I can read chat. Otherwise, I'll not be able to read Jack. Hello, everybody. Hello. Okay. Welcome, one and all, to this Dead by Daylight stream, but this is going to be a very different Dead by Daylight stream. This is going to be different because we are going to play Dead by Daylight. Don't worry, we're going to. But before we do, I want to take a minute to talk about this lore. Okay, when I first saw the Houndmaster, let's go ahead and put a pin on this, okay? When I first saw the Houndmaster, the new killer and survivor and all that, when I saw it, I was very unimpressed. The design of the Houndmaster looked ugly as sin. Like, I don't mind that it's a black woman. I don't mind that she's got this long leather colonial trench coat. I don't mind the dog. The hairdo, though, looks atrocious for one thing. Like, what were they even thinking with that? Like, I don't even want to know what was going through their mind when they came up with that. I really don't. But what I will say is that I said, okay, you know what? But let's be fair. Let's be fair here. You know, just because she looks awful does not mean that her lore is necessarily bad. Then I learned that she's supposed to be a pirate. And my next thought was, hold on. She's a Houndmaster, but she's also a pirate. How the heck does that work? How the heck does that? How is she a pirate and a Houndmaster? I thought you'd be one or the other. Her lore better explain this very well. So I was kind of like, okay, let's just wait and see. You know, let's just wait and see. Let's just wait. And maybe her lore will explain it all. The character's finally out. Her lore, she's finally out. She's finally able to be read. And I took a look at her lore, and I thought to myself, this has to be some of the worst lore I've ever read, because not only does it make no sense, not only is it contrived as hell, not only is it horribly paced, but it is very clear what they actually wanted to do with this character, but backed out of very quickly, but weren't smart enough or capable of doing it the right way. Okay? So, first of all, y'all like the thumbnail? I'm glad you like the thumbnail, because literally, I'm going to be honest, again, going back to how she looks, many people were saying, "Oh, Raven, you're racist. You just don't like the fact that she's a black woman." I would prefer it if they made her an attractive black woman, because I've met many attractive black women. I dated an attractive black woman in high school. I know that there are attractive black women in this world. I've worked with them. I've been in love with one of them. There are plenty of attractive black women in this world. Why we gotta get Grandma Josephine? Why we gotta get this woman who looks absolutely unappealing? And okay, I know the argument, she's a killer, Raven. You're not supposed to like the way they look. Dracula be dripping. Vecna looks tight. See, the thing is, the character has to look scary. They don't have to look ugly. They just have to look scary. Okay? So here's the thing. I don't mind that she is black. I don't mind that she's a woman. That's fine. Why does she have to look like Humpty Dumpty? See, that's my issue with the design. So I went to AI. Yes, go ahead and hang me for this. Hang me for using AI. I know I should be gutted and drawn and quartered for it. But I went to AI, typed in a better look, and I got that after 10 minutes. Already looks so much better. She looks intimidating. She looks badass. She looks gorgeous. I have met the criteria for a cool looking killer, and I didn't even have to try that hard. These people had ages to work on it, and this is what they came up with. You know what? Y'all don't seem to understand. Let's take another look at this bent. Gah!
You gutless idiots. No one should be led to their own death.
The dog's fine. That's a cane corso. Cane corsos are cool. Big old dogs. I like cane corsos. What is with your hair? Like that hair is a world marvel. Who thought to themselves at behavior? You know what, guys? We're gonna do a beehive hairdo that makes absolutely no sense. Her hair, if you look carefully, if you zoom in on her head, she's got cornrows going up her hair, not back like you would normally think, but up her hair. And then she has taken her hair and kind of wrapped it around in tubes all up, straight up into an updo, which should not be able to hold itself up. Luckily for her, she has a headdress that she has meticulously used to keep it in place when it serves no purpose. It does not serve any purpose. And someone might say, oh, but she's supposed to be an aristocrat, Raven. She's supposed to look high society. Actually, no. According to her lore, she is a pirate captain. No pirate captain would do their hair like this. Like, yes, Sushi just said it best. She's trying to look like Marge from The Simpsons, and yet even Marge from The Simpsons was supposed to be a parody because she's not supposed to look that attractive. Okay. So, obviously, I thought, let's do that better. So just look at the thumbnail. I made something better. And obviously, everyone's going, but it's AI, Raven. If the computer can make a better design for a black woman than a bunch of people at Behavior can, Skynet should win. Okay, now, let's get on to the lore. What we're going to do is we're going to read this lore together. And as we go through it, I am going to pick it apart piece by piece. And then at the very end, I will tell you how we fix this, okay? Here we go. So, now, and before you ask, Raven, are you still going to do a video on the Houndmaster? Yes, I will. I will do a video after this, breaking it all down in a video format since some people don't watch my streams. And then I will eventually do her dedicated analyzed video, because in the analyzed video, I talk about perks and powers and stuff like that. But here, we're just talking lore. Okay, so let's do it. Portia May's father helped found a prosperous settlement of sailors and merchants on an uncharted island in the Caribbean. Stop right there, we have a few problems. So, Portia May's father, okay, helped found a prosperous settlement of sailors and merchants on an uncharted island in the Caribbean. Question, how did Portia's father do this? This is probably taking place during the age of piracy, because she's a pirate. So this is taking place in the probably, I'd say around somewhere between the 16th century to the 18th century. Probably 18th century more likely given the outfit. But let's say 18th century. If you have an uncharted island in the Caribbean, how do you turn it into a prosperous settlement? What does her father do? Is her father a king of trade? Now, here's a problem with that. You might think, well, that's not too far-fetched, Raven. Well, I hate to break it to you, but she is black, which means her father is likely black. And at this time period, it is highly unlikely that you have a black man running his own trading fleet or trading settlement at this time. I mean, it's very, look, I'm not saying you couldn't do it. I'm not saying it's an impossibility. I'm saying it's highly unlikely given the racial tensions and relations at this point in time. So I have a hard time believing this, but let's go with it for now. They called their port town fortune and created a vast trading network which exposed Portia to cultures and knowledge from around the world. Okay, we need to stop again. So this trading network exposed Portia to cultures and knowledge from around the world. Really? So this uncharted island that they turned into a trading network exposed her to cultures from around the world. Where around the world? I think they're overestimating just how many cultures were involved in the Caribbean at this point. You have the European cultures, you have Spain, you have France, you have Britain, obviously. You don't have a lot more than that. You have a little bit of Italian, maybe. You might have a little bit in there, but you're not going to have a whole lot. So what do you mean from around the world? That's a little questionable, but let's keep going. As a sailor and lover of stories, Portia's father read her the Arabian Nights, Shakespeare, and Greek mythology, and he instructed her in sailing and celestial navigation. Okay, read her the Arabian Nights, Shakespeare, and Greek mythology. That's not an impossibility. That is not an impossibility, but it's still questionable. But let's move on. To be sure, he instilled within her a love for adventure so that she always wanted to travel with him. Okay, so this first paragraph sets us up with a big question mark. It sets us up with a curiosity. So Portia here grows up with her father, who has set up a trading hub, a huge prosperous trading colony in this uncharted island in the middle of the Caribbean. She's well-versed in Arabian Nights, Shakespeare, and Greek mythology. She's learned how to sail. She understands how to be guided by the stars. And she has a love for adventure. Okay, we can roll with this. We might be able to roll with this. We might be able to make this work. Okay, it's a little questionable. It's a little suspect. But it's not the worst we've seen. Let's keep going. Once, she accompanied her father on a trip to Italy, where he traded sugar and silver for rare silks and spices. This is again where I'd like to ask the time period, because again, her father is likely a black man. How much trading rights would he have as a black man at this time period? I'd like to know that. Where did he make port in Italy? Who did he trade with? This is a little questionable, but okay, again, let's keep going. Because some people are going to argue, why do you care so much about the history of this? It's just a horror fantasy game. You're right, it is. But still, it leads to a lot of questions. But let's keep going. That's hardly the worst problem here. There they also acquired a litter of Corso puppies, which her father said they would train as hunting dogs for Fortune's yearly hunting games. Okay, again, I have questions. Your island is called Fortune. It's an uncharted island in the middle of the Caribbean that no one's found yet except for you, and you set up a trading hub there. But it is big enough to hold game for hunting, and you have yearly hunting competitions on this island. Question 1, how big is the island? Question 2, what kind of game is on this Caribbean island? I can't imagine a lot of large game is on the Caribbean island. 3, how much game does it have populating it that you can have yearly hunting games? 4, this is asking a lot of questions right now. This is asking a lot of questions. This has hunting games now. And how rich are you that you have hunting games now? Like, how rich are you? How prosperous are you? Again, I hate to keep bringing this up, but if her father is a black man, as we can assume he is, how did he come by this wealth? How did he get free? How did he start his own trading hub? Like, I don't want to go there. I don't like going there, but guys, this is a real question we have to ask. You have chosen to make her black, which is fine. But historically speaking, there are questions we need to ask, okay? All right, but again, let's keep going. He also mentioned she could keep the strongest of the litter for her upcoming 12th birthday. Okay, 12 years old, got it. She named the pups Caesar, King, Shah, Athena, and the runt of the bunch, Snug. I find that funny. You name them these really badass names. Caesar, King, the Shah, Athena, Snug. Really? Nothing more creative than snug, but whatever. It's just me nitpicking. But before she could begin her training, a violent storm pushed Knight's Dream. I guess Knight's Dream, the name of her father's ship. Whatever. Pushed Knight's Dream off course into an area controlled by freebooters. Okay. Desperately, her father tried to steer the ship to safety, but the dreaded Mad Moloch attacked them with his ships and took Knight's Dream quickly. Those who survived the initial attack were pitted against each other in vicious fights that Moloch and his crew would wager on. The brigand promised that the last man standing would be let go. Okay? So far, so good. When Portia's father refused to participate, the most vicious of Moloch's men, his son Tariq, tortured him for hours and finally slit his throat. Okay. All right. So far, it's fine. All right. Keeping Portia alive to get past Fortune's outer defenses, Moloch and Tariq returned to their sloop and left a skeleton crew on Knight's Dream. Let's read that again. Keeping Portia alive to get past Fortune's outer defenses, Moloch and Tariq returned to their sloop and left a skeleton crew on Knight's Dream. All right. There are several problems. There are several problems with this. Let's start with the first one. Why did they leave her alive? Why did they leave her alive? Why her? Why her? Wouldn't it have been smarter to use her as leverage against her father? Her father's the captain of the ship, I imagine. Wouldn't it have been smarter to say, hey, you don't want us to kill your daughter? Get us through Fortune's outer defenses. Why kill him but leave her alive? How do you know she can get through it? She's a 12-year-old girl. What makes you think, this 12-year-old child knows how to get past Fortune's outer defenses? What made them think that she knew? Did she let them know? Pull that floor back up. I'm not done beating you over the head. You're taking your punishment like a man. So what made them think that Portia knew how to get through? What made them? Did she tell them, hey, hold on, don't kill me. I'll get you through Fortune's outer defenses. And if that is true, why did they believe her? She's a 12-year-old little girl. What made them think that? But let's move on from that. That's only problem number one. That's only problem number one. Let's move on to problem number two. Moloch and Tariq returned to their sloop and left a skeleton crew on the Knight's Dream. Oh, that's a great idea. That's a tremendous idea. Let's abandon the one girl who just watched her father get killed, had his throat slit, to this ship. She's obviously not going to take her own life. She's obviously not going to jump overboard. She's obviously not going to do something to try to get herself away. Now, let's just abandon her. It's that classic evil villain trope of, I'm now going to turn away and let the hero escape. Like, screw that. Next, Portia would lead them into Fortune. And once inside, Moloch and his raiders would attack, pillage, and burn their beloved town to the ground. Okay, even less reason for her to cooperate. Again, I don't understand this. Why not use the father instead? Why not say, all right, this is your daughter? Put a knife at her throat. I will kill her if you don't help us. I will kill her if you don't help us, so help us get into town. No, instead, you kill the father and say, okay, little girl, we just killed everyone you loved, and now we're going to kill everyone else you love if you help us get in. If I'm this little girl, I'm like, no, thank you. I'm not doing that. Oh, well, we'll kill you if you don't. Good luck killing me. You need me, remember? That's a good point. Darn it! If only we had some leverage. Dumbasses. Anyway. Using her skills in celestial navigation, Portia led them off course through an area that many claim to be cursed. All right, ladies and gentlemen, pop quiz for you. Why did Portia know her celestial navigation? Answer, because her father was a sailor who taught her. Follow-up question, what is Moloch and Tariq supposed to be? Sailing freebooters, in other words, pirates. So, follow-up, third question, what do you think pirates should be well-versed in? Celestial navigation. So, you're telling me this 12-year-old little girl who is knowledgeable in celestial navigation tricked a bunch of experienced freebooters into sailing into an area that many claim to be cursed. And not one person looked at that and said, you know, Captain, we shouldn't go this way. She's obviously leading us off course into an area that we know we shouldn't go. Oh totally, this is exactly the direction we should go. I don't know, Tooth. Some believe the area bled into the dark, malignant domain of some ineffable evil where monsters roamed. Okay. Moving on. Portia hoped to lead Moloch to his doom, and if she perished in the effort, so be it. Hey guys, you know what I forgot? You know what? Where's the dog? What are the dogs doing in all this? To quote the famous meme, what the Houndmaster? What do you think the dogs are doing right now? Do you think they ate the dogs? Again, question mark, huge question mark. Where are the dogs? You're called the Houndmaster. There's nothing about dogs other than, oh, by the way, my father bought me some dogs. Pretty cool. Yeah, I got some dogs now. That's my connection to the effing dogs. That's the Houndmaster's connection to the dogs. My dad bought them for me. Now, back to my pirate adventure. Moving on. As she approached the dragon's tooth, dark clouds accumulated and a cold black fog surrounded them. Sheets of rain fell and a fierce wind roared down the ship, creating black mountains that crashed over the mast. Okay. Pretty good descriptions. Instantly, Moloch and his ship turned away from the storm and left her to perish, but Portia refused to surrender as night stream plowed through the thick fog and lightning. Her heart shuddered in her chest as the ship creaked and groaned and slowly capsized. The last thing she saw before the ocean swallowed her whole was the silhouette of a giant tentacle crashing down on them. Ooh, the Kraken! She got eaten by the Kraken! Please, I wish that was what happened. All right. Portia opened her blurry eyes to see Snug staring down on her. Oh, Snug is here! I wonder where he's been this whole time. Where he been all this time, I wonder. He licked her face and barked for her to get up. Blinking the salt water out of her eyes, she pushed her aching and bruised body from the ground but collapsed under the strange purple sand. She had never seen anything like it before. Okay. So she's clearly in some kind of realm of the entity right now. She's clearly marooned on an entity's realm kind of island right now because she's on a bunch of purple sand. She'd fallen into the water. We can safely assume that she is trapped in the entity's realm right now. We can safely assume that. This does beg a lot of questions, but we'll get to that question later. We will get there later. With difficulty, she gathered herself, stood, and turned to face the runt. Snug barked twice and began sniffing the ground, leading her to a cluster of coconuts and purple seaweed. She dried out the seaweed, cracked the coconuts, and ate on the rocks, quietly listening to creatures she had never heard before, and suddenly realized they were marooned on an island in the Dragon's Tooth. Ooh, what a shock. That's terrifying. They were in a strange world, an in-between world, a world her father had once described as a living nightmare that tortured the mind and played with the heart, because as you know, her father had been there before. And as she listened to these strange new sounds, she suddenly saw Moloch everywhere. Instinctively, Portia closed her eyes and shrieked and only stopped when Snug jumped into her lap, returning her to the moment with a crescendo of barks. Okay, so now we're establishing that Portia is going through some kind of post-traumatic stress where she has like the black rage of the blood angels, but instead of seeing Horus everywhere, she sees Moloch everywhere, and she freaks out and screams, but Snug brings her back to the present. Okay, that's fine. Okay, all right. Over the years. Okay, so we're jumping a few years. All right, let's see what's going on over these years. Over the years, Portia survived on whatever washed ashore as she battled the predators that stalked the island. Portia survived on whatever washed ashore as she battled the predators that stalked the island. She's 12 years old with a Corso puppy. She's 12 years old with a Corso puppy. What the is she fighting? How the fuck does she do the fighting? Does she have a sword? Does she have a weapon? Is she trained in the magical art of pirate foo? Oh, you know what? Let's hear about these predators. Ferocious animals. Oh, as you know, 12-year-old girls are very skilled at fighting vicious animals. Vicious humans! Ah! There are humans on this island. Clearly, a 12-year-old girl and her Corso puppy are more than a match for vicious humans. And savage abominations not of this world. You know, it was very impressive when I read the lore of Lionel Johnson from Warhammer 40k and how even as a child he was able to battle and survive against all the warp beasts of the planet of Caliban. But the difference between Lionel Johnson and Portia is Lionel Johnson's a frickin' Primarch. He was designed to be a match for anything the warp could puke out at it. This is I will repeat this until it sinks into your head, a 12-year-old little girl raised on stories of adventure, Greek mythology, Shakespeare, and the Arabian Nights with a Corso puppy that was just bought for her, and she's able to take them on. Because, you know, that makes sense. Snug now weighed over 100 pounds and followed Portia everywhere. Now, keep in mind, you might be saying, there it is, Raven. See, they explained. They explained right there that Snug was big now and could protect her. Yeah, after the years have passed. What about over the years? What about over the years? Moving on. Together, they made a daunting pair, and most of the survivors on the island kept their distance. Yes! Fear the mad woman and her big dog. It's not like guns exist now. Moving on. The few who didn't live to regret it if they lived at all. Oh, this woman and her dog are such vicious confederates. How do we fight them? How do we best them? It's not like we live in a world of swords and guns. Now, you might be thinking that I'm being a little bit too sarcastic here. I need this made very clear. There's no explanation how she was able to survive and best all these people. I sincerely don't know. They don't explain this. They just say that she did it. How? In what way? I'm willing to accept this if you give us something. Maybe start off saying that she had to learn to hide and scrounge to get by until she got hold of a sword or a cane or some kind of weapon to help her. But no, it just says they were able to battle the predators, the ferocious animals, the vicious humans, the savage abominations. How? At 12 years old with a puppy, you're able to take on all this nightmare fuel? Moving on. Let's keep going. And just when she was about to give up on the idea of escaping, she spotted an impossible thing while searching the beach for Snug. To her disbelief, she saw Nightstream drifting ashore in the cold, black fog. Cool. Her ship is there. Don't ask why. It all makes sense. Don't bother questioning with facts and logic. It's just there. It's only been several years. The ship just happens to drift ashore. I'm totally enthralled. I totally believe this lore. It's not contrived in the slightest. Moving on. She knew better. Okay. She knew. I need a minute. This next line is great. I love this line. It's like the writer just threw up his hands. She knew better than to doubt or question anything on this island. Yep. She just knew better than to question a damn thing. Obviously. Of course. Why question? Why doubt? Why ask why? What point is there? It's just here. Accept it. A 12-year-old girl surviving on an island with a puppy? Why question anything? It just works. It's fine. Don't ask questions, guys. Why are you asking questions? Just don't question anything on this island. It's like the writer knew this made no sense and just said, just don't question it. Don't doubt anything. I'm sorry, bro. I'm here, and I got questions. I got a lot of questions. But let's keep going. With a whistle, she entered the water, but was suddenly attacked by a group of castaways. Okay. All right. So, we have our setup. With a whistle, she entered the water, but was suddenly attacked by a group of castaways. A group of human castaways, a group of human sailors are coming at her. We don't know how old she is. We just know it's been a few years. So let's really highball. Let's say she's 20 years old. Okay? Let's highball it and say she's 20. Okay. In her mind, she slaughtered Moloch 50 times. So, all right. Again, I know we shouldn't question anything about this island. Oh, I know we shouldn't ask questions about the lore. I know that these devs are allergic to questions. But I've got a small question, a small little question, just a slight one. I don't think it's anything major. I don't think it's anything lore breaking or anything. Maybe it's a tiny thing. She beat 50 people by herself without Snug. You might say, oh, but she had the dog to help her. If you read the next line, in her mind, she slaughtered Moloch 50 times and spared only those she needed to crew her ship. Together they spent days searching for Snug. He was not there. He's nowhere to be found. He was, as the lore says, gone. So let's rewind. Let's rewind, people. Let's go back a little bit. Let's rewind a little bit, okay? I just wanted to I want to make sure you all understand this. A woman in her 20s or 30s, I don't know how old she is, killed 50 people. And you might think, okay, it was only 50, Raven. It's only 50. Nope, she spared enough to crew her ship. Let's say that requires 10 people to crew it. There were 60 people. She killed 50 of them by herself. Oh, she's just quite the warrior. You know, I think even a Navy SEAL would have trouble meleeing 50 people. But God, this woman, she's got it. She can do it. 50 people. Oh, this is so... Okay. Okay. This lore is the worst I've ever read on this game. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going. We're not done. We're only halfway through. Okay, let's keep going. Gone. Gone as if he had never been, as if he had only been a figment of her imagination. Now, let's take a moment to appreciate what's going on here. Let's take a moment to appreciate this part. What they're doing here is they're trying to hint at the fact that Snug is not real. He's not really there. Snug is an expression of the entity, a creation of the entity to take the form of her dog. That's what it looks like they're doing here. They're trying to say, okay, Snug was an expression of the entity to help her stay alive while she was a child, but now she doesn't need Snug. Okay. Let's play that game for just a moment. I'm going to play that game with you for literally just a moment. Let's pretend that over the course of her childhood, from 12 years old all the way up to now, Snug was just an entity creature, a creation of the entity that helped her stay alive. With that knowledge in mind, you might be able to say, okay, that's how she survived this whole time. She survived because she had a being of the entity helping her stay alive. Okay, that might make sense. But now I ask another follow-up question. Snug was not there when she soloed 50 people. So how'd she do that? If she'd been relying on a dog to keep her alive, an entity dog, granted, to keep her alive up till now, how on earth is she alive after fighting 50 people? That's the question I raised, but you know what? Let's keep going. All right. We're past that ludicrousness. Let's keep going. Okay. For decades, Portia terrorized the Caribbean as she searched for Moloch. For decades, Portia terrorized the Caribbean as she searched for Moloch. Now, you might hear that line and ask yourself, why would she want to terrorize the Caribbean? She's no pirate. In fact, Moloch hurt her. Why would she want to hurt other people? But I can actually explain this. This could be the lore actually being a little creative. Keep in mind, she's been trapped on a warped entity island for years now. Her whole idea of morality may be entirely warped. She sees everyone as Moloch. She sees the world as her enemy. So in a very unique way, she sees even innocent lives as people that she needs to attack and destroy. So yeah, that actually makes more sense than you'd think. Now we read the next sentence. She only attacked freebooters. Oh, okay, so her morality isn't warped. She's actually a vigilante. She's going after other freebooters and pirates. She's smart enough not to go after innocent people. Okay. So I guess that line, terrorizing the Caribbean, is a little misleading. She didn't terrorize the Caribbean. She just went after pirates. Oh, okay. We wouldn't want to make her look like a villain just yet, would we? We wouldn't want to make her a villain quite yet. That would be, nuanced. Don't want to make this woman a villain, guys. Hold on. No, we don't want to do that. We don't want to make this poor woman a villain, okay? All right, we don't want to actually have some nuance and introspection and complexity to her character. No. She's still just hunting freebooters. Okay, I got it. Okay, we're cool. All right, moral questions gone. Don't question anything. We're moving forward. She only attacked freebooters, taking their gold and torturing them sadistically to satiate some intangible darkness living within her. A darkness like a parasite that demanded blood until it had its fill. But that darkness apparently didn't require so much that she would attack innocents. No. Just freebooters. She has enough self-control of her own darkness that she does not have to attack innocent people. Just the freebooters. Obviously, of course. Naturally. Let's keep going. Oh, I'm not done. On the occasions Portia couldn't appease its hunger, the parasite would squeeze her mind with its deadly talons, crushing reason and reality until she would see Moloch's face on every crew member. She would attack and butcher everyone and anyone until one of her many trusted guard dogs barked for her to stop. And Moloch would suddenly dematerialize into wisps of dark fog. Here's what I love about this paragraph. You know what I love about... I want to really explain what I love about this paragraph. Can we break down this paragraph a little bit? Can we just break this down in pieces? On the occasions Portia couldn't appease its hunger... the parasite would squeeze her mind with its deadly talons, crushing reason and reality until she would see Moloch's face on every crew member. Again, it's not her fault. It's the darkness doing it to her. It's not her mind that was warped. It's this darkness thing. It's getting to her. It's messing with her mind. We can't blame her. It's all part of what happened. Moving on. She would attack and butcher everyone and anyone until one of her many trusted guard dogs... there it is, guys. Dogs. We mentioned dogs. She's still the Houndmaster. Y'all who question where the dogs were, still the Houndmaster. She has dogs. Don't ask where she got them. Don't ask where she got the dogs. Don't ask what the dogs are. Don't ask why she got the dogs. Don't ask anything about that. She has dogs. She has dogs now. She's the Houndmaster. She's good. We're good. She's got her dogs now. She's got her dogs now. We're good. Houndmaster. Still Houndmaster. She's got her dogs now. Do y'all see why this is so badly written? It's like they have to keep going, oh yeah, she was supposed to be a Houndmaster. Throw some dogs in there. This is so bad. You would think that a Houndmaster might have a better relationship with her dogs. But no, the lore has to constantly remind us, oh yeah, and there are dogs. There are dogs in there. I forgot to mention the dog. Here's the dog. Go ahead. There's your dog. This is so badly written. Well, no, I'll take that back. It's not badly written. It's bad lore. They're writing it the best they can. It's just bad lore. You can organize crap into whatever shape you want. At the end of the day, it's crap. But anyway. So she would attack and butcher everyone and anyone until one of her many trusted guard dogs barked for her to stop. Interesting. So her many trusted guard dogs bark when it's time for her to stop. When do you think the dogs are trained to do that? When do you think the dogs recognize it's time for her to stop? Like, you think the dogs are just sitting there like, okay, she's killed 1, 2, 3, 4. Should we bark yet? No, keep going. Okay, 5, 6, 7. How about now? She can go a little longer. 8. Now, okay, now we'll stop. It's 10. Bark! Oh, see, there we go. 10 was the limit. We can't let her go past 10, guys. I mean, come on. We're rational beings here. We don't want her to keep killing past 10. No. 10's the limit. What's that? Oh, you think we should start up again next time? Yeah, you know what? I think next time we'll do 8. You know, we'll bark at 8. We'll bark at 8. So the dogs know to bark when it's like, hey, you should stop killing your own people, by the way. Don't you think the dogs would maybe say, hey, you know, she's acting a little bit crazy. Maybe we should stop her earlier. Nah, we'll wait for 10. Anyway. Moloch would suddenly dematerialize into a wisp of black fog. Okay, whatever. Okay, moving on. Next paragraph. Terrified, the crew knew it was just a matter of time before her madness turned against them. Can we just pause right there? Terrified, the crew knew it was just a matter of time before her madness turned against them. Hold on, folks. Hold on. Why were they terrified? Why would they think her madness would turn against them? What makes them think that? Why would she think? You think her madness would turn against you? Why would you think that? Come on. What did she do? What did she do to make you think that her madness would turn against you? Was it the part where she started murdering your own crewmates? Was it that? Oh, come on. Her madness didn't turn against you then. What did you... These guys, don't they know? Don't they know this woman only has the best of intentions? What part of her lore? What part of her lore would make them think that her madness would turn against them? Newsflash, boys, her madness has already turned against you numerous times, according to this. If I were on your crew, I would have mutinied a long time ago. I would have mutinied ages ago. I would have jumped ship ages ago. I would have turned her ass over to the government ages ago. Why are you suddenly now thinking, you know, guys, I think our captain's a little crazy? I can't tell you why. You know, I heard a great story from our buddy Charlie the other day, but he got killed by one of her mad frenzies. But I don't know. I'm thinking she might be a little crazy. Moving on. And so, even when they finally located Moloch, they conspired to mutiny. I can't imagine why. But they had underestimated their captain. How could they underestimate her? What? Moving on. I mean, how could you possibly... No, here's a question. How could you overestimate her? Apparently, she can kill 50 people by herself without a weapon. Moving on. By the time Portia was through with them, there was only 5 left standing in a pool of blood and gore. So she killed all of her crew except for 5. Single-handedly. Well, at least now we can at least say she had her dogs to help her. But don't her crew have guns? Can't they, you know, shoot the damn dogs? Can't they shoot her? Oh, wait, they couldn't do that. Like, that would be racist, wouldn't it? Oh, my God. Moving on. All right. They instantly threw themselves on her mercy as her dogs surrounded them, waiting for the kill command that never came. Well, obviously the kill command never came. I swear, you got 5 men. How are you going to crew an entire ship with 5 men? Guys, you haven't... If anyone is looking at this wondering why I'm ripping this bit apart, it's for this reason. Keep in mind how many times she's killed her crew. Let's back up so that you can see. It says... On the occasions, plural, multiple times this has happened, Portia couldn't appease its hunger. The parasite would squeeze her mind with its deadly talons, crushing reason and reality until she would see Moloch's face on every crew member. She would attack and butcher everyone and anyone until her many trusted guard dogs barked for her to stop. So on more than one occasion, let's limit it to 2. Let's just say on 2 occasions at least, she started killing her own crew. On at least 2 occasions, she started killing her own crew. Her crew decides to mutiny. She kills all of them again, with 5 remaining. That begs the question, how many crewmates did she have on this ship before she went crazy? How many crewmates did she start with? How many crewmates did she start with? Let's say that she started with, you know what, let's have some fun. Let's say that she started with 15 crewmates. 15 crewmates. That means that means she has a ship that requires 15 hands to crew it. Let's say that she killed 3 her first time. Then the next time she killed 3 again. That's 6 crewmates. You're down to 9. Then she kills everyone, that's 4, but the last 5. You've got 5 people to crew your ship. Your ship's useless, sweetheart. Your ship's useless. You can't crew it with that many people. Oh my gosh. Moving on. This is terrible. All right. Destroying Moloch would take more hands than she possessed. Gathering her wits, she ordered the mutant... No, time out. No, I refuse to believe that. I refuse to believe that. Not for one moment do I believe that. Not for one moment do I believe that line. That is the biggest lie I've heard in this lore so far. Did y'all hear that? Let's read it again. And y'all tell me what's wrong with that line. Destroying Moloch would take more hands than she possessed. Really? Really? You can't take Moloch with just 5 other men? I'm sorry, you killed 50 men all by your lonesome. You killed the majority of your crew and left only 5 standing. And now you're saying one guy's too hard for you to kill. Oh, I am but one woman. I cannot defeat this mighty trained pirate master. I have only killed 50 men and my kill count keeps rising. But this one man, I can't possibly do it. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't. I couldn't kill one man. I'm apparently a master fighter who's killed 50 people, but one man. Moving on. Destroying Moloch would take more hands than she possessed. Gathering her wits, she ordered the mutineers to clean up the deck and feed her dogs as she steered Nightstream towards Mad Moloch's island. So I can't possibly defeat Moloch, but I'm still going to go to his island. Okay, sure. Moloch himself was out on the high seas, but Portia's crew captured Tariq and locked him up in preparation for his father's return. Brilliant lore writing. Brilliant lore writing. First you say, I can't take Moloch by himself. Moloch is not home. I will capture his son. How were you able to do that? I thought you couldn't even take Moloch on by yourself, but you and your crew were able to capture Tariq. How'd you do that? Maybe you could take him on by yourself. And then locked him up in preparation for his father's return. Okay, cool. Awesome, cool. When Moloch returned, he found the island deserted, apart from a woman offering chests of gold and jewels. She claimed she wanted to join Moloch's crew and had prepared an amazing feast for him and his men. Not recognizing her, Moloch accepted the treasure and asked about Tariq. She smiled and assured him his son would be joining them for dinner. Okay, all right. Let's time out for a second. Let's time out for just a measly moment. Let's take a step back and think about this for just a moment. Just a moment. I think that we need to return to a previous part of the lore. Let's back up a little bit. I think we do need to address this part. I think we need to step up to this part of the lore again where it says for decades, as in more than 10 years, multiple 10 years, maybe let's put it at 30. Let's put it at 30 years. Yeah, Portia terrorized the Caribbean as she searched for Moloch. The entire Caribbean knows who she is. The entire Caribbean is very much aware of the terror that is Portia. And then Moloch comes home. Well, who is this woman who has shown up on my island? I'm sure I don't recognize you. Who are you, madam? You came looking all the way for me wanting to join my crew, are you? Well, I certainly don't think you have a famous name yet. I totally don't question this in any way. By the way, where is my son? Where is my son? I don't... Oh, you say that he's going to be joining us for dinner. You clearly aren't trying to bamboozle me or get around me, madam. I have the utmost trust in you. You know what? I also had the utmost trust in a 12-year-old girl long ago. I wonder how she's doing these days. I clearly have the best track record with trusting women. If this lore isn't giving you brain damage, I'm impressed with you. Okay. All right. Let's keep going. Let's get this over with, okay? Okay. So Portia served Moloch an elaborate meal, and he drank and ate with gusto. The meat was especially good. Roasted, crisp, and black on the outside and pink and juicy on the inside. He wanted to know if it was wild boar or venison. Portia smiled, stood proudly, and reached over the table and lifted a golden food cover to reveal Tariq's decapitated glazed head, frozen in a scream of terror, the mouth vomiting bullion and jewels. She fed his son to him. You know, I gotta admit to you guys, I'm gonna be real honest with you, that was an elaborate, very cruel, very dark scheme. That's Shakespearean. I know where she got it from. She got it from a Shakespeare play. That was very good. Titus Andromeda, very good. Very good. That was a great Shakespeare reference she did. But you know, I do have one slight problem with the plan. It is a slight one. It's a small one, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that this is a big issue. But considering that just having visions of her crew as Moloch leads her to kill all of her crew, I'm surprised she had the self-control not to kill Moloch when she first saw him. You know, I remember the time when the Blood Angels were out and one of them went through their black rage and thought they saw Horus. And instead of rushing over to try to kill what they thought was Horus, they offered it a feast and sat him down and then killed someone that they thought was his son and fed it to him before trying to kill him. I remember that very well because obviously, you know, mental disorders and madness only kick in at the right times, right? Yeah, it's only at proper moments because it would ruin the really cool, really badass Shakespeare reference here that we just threw in there if she actually was consistent. See, the way I see it, if she's so nuts, if she's so effed in the head that even the sight of Moloch drives her into killing him, why did she spare the real Moloch long enough to do this elaborate little scheme? Like, I don't know. She killed her own crew when she thought they looked like Moloch. Now here's the real Moloch. You know what? I'll F with him a little bit. I'll kill his son and force him to eat him. Why? Because I can! Totally makes sense. Totally consistent. Totally good writing. No problems here. Why do you think there are problems here? Remember what they said. Question nothing. All right. Moving on. Moloch roared his anguish like a wounded bull, and she reveled in his torment as a thick black fog rose from the floor like a black veil. But before she could strike Moloch down, something unseen jerked him backwards into the darkness. Oh, the entity effed with you, Portia. Oh, the entity said psych and yanked him out of there. Oh. Entity is based, bro. Entity's my favorite character right now. Entity's the best. Entity basically said to Portia, you shouldn't have played with him. You should have killed him. Gave him to you on a silver platter. You waited too long. You wanted to be cool. You wanted to look awesome. Well, now you missed your chance. I'm taking him. Ha ha! And now she's going, no! Quote the gargoyle line, I'm denied everything, even my revenge! But the funny thing is, the difference is you had your chance at revenge. You could have killed him right there. You didn't kill him right there. You decided to be smart. You decided to be cool. You decided to be witty about it. You decided to have fun with it. But you missed your chance. At once her laughter died. Lips curled with mingled panic and rage. Veins in her neck stood out in livid ridges. Talons gripped her mind and squeezed and refused to let go. He was gone before she could stomp his head into bloody pulp. You might have been able to do that if you did it earlier, but no, we're gonna wait. We're gonna be clever about it. We're gonna feed him his own son and be all creative. Oh, I'm gonna be so smooth about all this. Unintelligible words fumbled out of her mouth and degenerated into a guttural rasp, and just as she was about to scream, she heard the impossible. A bark. A bark she hadn't heard in years. She heard it again and again. Snug. He had Moloch scent. Not trying to understand what could not be understood. There it is! Not trying to understand what could not be understood. It's like the writer knew. It's like the writer said, look, I know this makes no sense. I know this is ass. I know this is the worst lore we've ever made. Please don't try to understand what clearly can't be understood. Please spare your own sanity by not trying to rationalize this. I'm sorry, bro. I'm trying to rationalize. You're not winning any points. But trying not to understand what could not be understood, she charged into the fog to finish what she started with her long lost friend. Okay. And that is the lore of the Houndmaster. That is the lore of the Houndmaster. You know, it's... I don't want to say it's bad, because to say it's bad just doesn't really grasp the idea. That's like saying that the beach is a little sandy. Because you're not wrong, but you haven't fully grasped the full picture. It's like saying that snow is a little cold. You're not wrong, but again, you're not quite getting it. This lore is disgustingly bad. It is absolute trite. It is so terrible. As a writer, as someone who tries very hard to craft good, consistent characters, this lore is some of the worst I've ever read. It is so disgustingly bad. The Houndmaster, for someone called the Houndmaster, the dog in the story has so little relevance. There's so little having to do with dogs in the story. The writer constantly has to keep reminding us, oh yeah, there's dogs. Here's some dogs. Look, we got dogs for you. Here's some dogs. Look, we got a few dogs for you. They had to constantly throw in, oh yeah, Snug. Oh yeah, she has guard dogs. Oh yeah, do you hear that barking? She has a dog. We don't see her do anything with Snug or her dogs. We don't see her training her dogs. We don't even see her playing with her dogs. We just know, oh, by the way, she has a dog. There you go. And you might say, well, Raven, she spent all that time on the island with Snug, so clearly they built up a good relationship. Clearly, really, did they? What did she do with Snug? How does she train him? And here's another great question. What's with the getup? What's with the weapon? She's a pirate, right? Why is she fighting with a cane sword? That's not a very standard pirate weapon, is it? That's something you'd give to a nobleman or a hunter or to some kind of, aristocrat. Not a pirate. And then what's with the background? Let's back up. Look at the background behind her. Look at the background of the screen. That looks like a Scooby-Doo style mansion. I thought she was a pirate. We never see her living on a mansion. We never see her going to some kind of manor anywhere. What's with this mansion? This doesn't feel piratey. It's like they couldn't decide. Is she a pirate sailing the seven seas? Or is she a houndmaster with a host of loyal hounds? What is she supposed to be? It's so terribly bad. But you know what, guys? I'm going to tell you my theory. I'm going to tell you my theory as to what they were actually trying to do. Ready for this? I'm going to tell you my theory. I think that the original idea of the character was going to be a slave hunter, a slave catcher, someone who goes out and hunts down escaped slaves and brings them back. That would explain having the big dog used to hunt people. That would explain the aristocratic vibe. That would explain the big mansion in the background. That would explain the colonial style dress. But the problem is, I think when they had that idea, they said, that's too un-PC. That is politically incorrect. We don't want that. So let's change them last minute. Let's make her a black woman so that we're sure, that we know that we're not going that route. And you know what? To get further away from the problem, let's make her a pirate. Now, you might ask the question, well, how does a pirate tie into a dog anyway? How does a pirate tie into being a houndmaster? That's a great question, and the answer is, don't think about it. Don't ask questions. Don't try to understand what can't be understood. We want a houndmaster, but we don't actually want to make them anything like a houndmaster. That would be nuts. That would be stupid. I'm tired of you asking questions, the developer says. Please move on. So, and of course, my response to that is, yeah, you're right. I wouldn't want a slave catcher to be a new killer anyway. It's not like the slave catcher might be a villain. I mean, it's not like the killers are supposed to be, murderous psychopaths and freaks and monsters. So, now I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I'm going to rewrite this lore. I am actually going to tell you an idea I had. Now, keep in mind, this idea is not complete. I would actually need to type this up and write it. And when I do, I'll make a whole video sharing it. But I'm going to tell you my early idea for this lore. I'm going to tell you my early idea for this lore. They want to borrow from Shakespeare to make her story? Watch this. I'm going to borrow from a really good short story, The Most Dangerous Game. If you've never read that short story, your middle school robbed you of a really good short story. If you've never read The Most Dangerous Game, great short story, very easy to read. You can probably read it in an afternoon. Anyway, here's what we're going to do. In the colonial era, you have this guy. He was a very rich, wealthy man who liked to hunt large game, like animals. He traveled all around the world to go hunting. And he had with him, and he had so much money and so much, time and energy on his hand that he could leave his slaves to work his land while he went off to go and hunt and catch all the best game he could with his loyal dogs. Well, when he came back, he eventually starts getting bored of all the hunting. He gets bored of hunting big game. It's just not exciting for him anymore. It's just too easy. So he decides to try hunting other things. He decides to hunt the most dangerous prey, people. He decides he wants to try hunting people. And he needs a good supply of people, so slowly slaves start disappearing. Slaves on his own land start disappearing. He picks some of the stronger, more capable, more intelligent slaves that he has, lets them loose into a game reserve, and launches his dogs out to try to hunt them. And he does a pretty stinking good job of it. Now we have our young character. We can call her Portia. We can give her a new name, whatever name you want to give her. Let's go with Iana for now. I knew Iana back in school. We're going to call her Iana. I don't want to call her Portia because that's too related to what they've already created. So Iana is one of these slaves, and she's smart enough to recognize that a lot of these slaves are going missing. The master claims that he's giving them their freedom, but she knows that something can't be right. So one day she sneaks into the master's house to see what's going on and see if he can't figure things out, and she starts to piece together what's really going on. What happens is she actually comes across one of the master's puppies, one of the hunting dogs. It'll be Snug in this case, and she actually forms a really close bond with Snug, and so she starts to connect with the dog. She starts to feed the dog some of her scraps. She actually takes care of the dog when it's sick. This dog seems to like her. Well, one day when she's gotten old enough, we can say she's in her teens or her 20s or something like that, the master finally decides it's her turn to be hunted, so he offers her her freedom if she can beat his game. So he sends Iana out into the wild, and he sends Snug out to hunt her. What he doesn't know is that Snug actually likes her more than the master, because Snug was taken care of by Iana. She actually cared for this animal. She actually cared for him. And so what she does is she uses this opportunity to outsmart the master. She cuts herself and covers her rags in blood and gives it to Snug, who returns with it, implying that she's dead. So the master thinks that she's died and dead and he's won the hunt, but he thinks it was too boring. So he goes home to sleep. He'll go deal with them in the morning. Instead, he follows her in, sneaks into his bed, and kills him in his sleep. She feels really good about that. She feels really happy about what she just did. In fact, she feels a little too good. She liked that feeling. The feeling of dominating this man who thought he was so much stronger than her. The feeling of dominating someone who was always ruling over her. The feeling of being better. The feeling of being tougher. The feeling of being dangerous. The feeling of looking at a man weaker than her and tearing him apart. Cutting his throat, watching him bleed out on the bed. So instead of shutting down this whole thing, she decides, you know what? I'm going to free all the slaves that were here. They can go. And I will hunt them down as they try to find their freedom. She's not going to release them into her hunting log. That's too easy. Let them try to run to the north for freedom. Let them try to get out of the south and go to freedom. Let them try. I'll hunt them all down one by one with my dogs. And she becomes a slave catcher and a bounty hunter of people of her own skin color. Why? Because she fell in love with the feeling of power. Something fed to her by the entity. Something fed to her by this dark force that she doesn't recognize. She sees humankind now as beneath her. And if they're strong enough, they might just be more entertaining game. Because they are the most dangerous prey. And like I said, I haven't finished writing it. That is just my idea. That is just a concept. That is just something that I put together in an afternoon of thinking about it. What do y'all think? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Which was better, what they wrote or what I wrote? I would love your thoughts. You could even argue that it's the idea that the entity was corrupting her master and now has moved that corruption onto her. Easy. Easy fix. It ties into her being a Houndmaster. It ties into her why she hunts. She's still black. She's still a woman. It fits so much better than, oh, by the way, she's a pirate. And you know what, the funny thing? If Behavior watched this video and watched up to it to this point, they would probably say, we can't do that. That's racist. What black woman would hunt other slaves? Well, you know, you got a point. I'm not going to argue with you on that one. That is a bit of a stretch. Almost like a stretch of, I don't know, a black woman finding an uncharted island in the middle of the Caribbean and turning it into a huge trade port and outwitting a bunch of sailors. If you want to play the game of what's not logically possible, we can play that game. You won't win it. This lore is abysmal. This lore is atrocious. I will be coming back to this. I will be rewriting her lore, and I will be redesigning this character. I don't mind that she's a black woman. Make her a black woman. It's fine. I don't want anyone coming at me and saying, Raven, you just don't like her because she's a black woman and you're racist. I don't mind that she's a black woman. I hate that she is an ugly, very unappealing, very uninteresting, and boringly written black woman. It's insulting to black women. It's insulting to black characters. It's insulting to writing in general. This lore is so piss. It is the epitome of, and I say this pun with full intention, dog shit. Now that I have bored you to tears with all this lore talk, let's actually play the game.
I won't be a sacrifice.
Oh yeah, her lore too. I'm not gonna go into her lore the same way I did her. I'll get to her video. I will get to her video. I'll be honest though, after reading her lore, it's not bad. Like, honestly, this Survivor's lore, it's not bad. Tari Kane, or Tari Kane, or I'm going to say Tari Kane because it's like Laurie Kane or Laurie Kane. Tari Kane, that's what her name is. Tari Kane. Yeah, Tari Kane. Her lore is actually okay. I don't mind her lore. It's actually okay. Legitimately, her lore is fine. Like, I actually do not mind it. She's just still ugly. Like, she's just still offensively ugly. Can I ask a question? This is a serious question. I do mean this from the bottom of my soul. Why is it, not just DBD, it's not just DBD that does this, but I mean this. Why on earth is DBD and other games like them afraid of casting attractive women? Like, can we do this? Let's take a look at the Survivor women. Let's take a look at the Survivor women. Let's go through the ones that actually look appealing. Meg's not bad. Meg's not bad. Claudette's okay. Claudette's okay. Nia's ugly as sin. Laurie's okay, but can we really count her? She's an existing character. Fang's cute. She's okay. Katie's hot. I'll give Katie credit. She's hot. Jane's okay, but she's a thick mama. It's kind of unfair. Nancy Wheeler's fine, but again, she's an existing character. Yui's okay. Yui's okay. These are all, we're starting off okay, but then after these characters, we start to go a little downhill. Oh, we're done. Okay. Irish Raven coming out. Well, that's a little inappropriate because Tari's Scottish. Here, I'll ready up, but I'll keep going. Okay, Zarina isn't that attractive. Cheryl's an existing character. Elodie's fine, depending on the outfit. Yunjin Lee was not good looking. You have to work really hard to get her a good looking outfit. Jill's an existing character. Michaela's okay, depending on the outfit. Hattie is not that attractive. Ada's an existing character. Rebecca's an existing character. Thalita's she's fine. She's okay. Ellen's an existing character. Sable is only good with the right outfit. Asteri looks too much like a man. Laura's an existing character. This is ugly. Many of these are just okay at best. Some of them, like Hattie and Zarina and Yunjin Lee and Tari. It's like, can we make pretty ladies again? Can we make hot ladies? You made some up here. Some of these were okay. Meg's okay. Claudette's okay. I like that most people call Tari feminine. Feminine? Oh, because she looks like Eminem. What's the right Sable outfit? Good luck. I'm still working on it. Oh my gosh. Just it's sad to me that we can't make prettier characters. And it's not just Dead by Daylight. I don't want to just blame Dead by Daylight. A lot of games do this. They take very attractive characters and just uglify them. Call me a sexist if you want. I just value beauty. Like, oh, Raven, you're so sexist. You expect women to look hot to satisfy the male gaze. No, because I think that women should appreciate beauty too. I think that women should take pride in how they look and they should want to look pretty. Call me crazy. But I think that a woman who wants to make herself unappealing or unattractive is just... Like, I've seen all these, like, TikToks of women shaving their own head to protest Trump's election victory. And all I can say to that is, how pathetic are you? How pitiful are you that it's like, I'm so upset about who won, I'm going to shave my head. Why? How does this help you? How do you think that hurts anyone? Like, men aren't going to want to have sex with me now. Okay, great. I'm glad I wasn't that interested anyway. Like, I wasn't interested in you that much anyway, but now you've kind of ruined your chances with anyone. Like, let me be real. You ain't impressing me already. Thunder, I'm not crazy. I'm just, just passionate. That's the unknown. Crap. Oh wow, I ran right into you, didn't I? Wait, are you slugging us out? Come on, don't be like that. No. Gen done. I'm not going to play a whole lot of matches. I'm just going to do a few. Maybe one as the Houndmaster. What are they doing? Bruh, he wants me bad, I guess. Oh, he didn't go after me. Okay, cool. I need to find a generator. We've only gotten one done. We gotta work. We gotta work, guys. Oh, here we go. You need to heal faster! How's the writing of my stories going? Very slow. Hold on, does the Unknown have lore? Is it good or not? I haven't read the Unknown's lore yet. I need to. It'll go away in a second. All right. All the female killers ironically look pretty. The hag isn't very pretty, I'll be honest. The nurse covers her face all the time, so it's hard to know. It'll go away in a second. I managed to avoid him. Yay. No, no, he got her. One nurse's cosmetic shows that she's a redhead. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah, but you're right. Most of the female killers do look better than the survivors. Like Skull Mommy is just, you know what I mean? Missed me. How come that doesn't work for me? Oh well.
Sorry.
Why did you avoid that hook? There was legitimately a hook right back there you could have done. Oh, that scream was pitiful. Well, I guess I gotta hang out for a bit. No, he's coming back. Did the entity do a little trolling on the... Yeah, the entity trolled the survivor pretty hard. It's hilarious. Oh no, he got me. Ah, he got me. Damn. I hate that move. I think the unknown should be a scarecrow, if I'm being honest. Beautiful. All right, let's go. There's still one gen we can do over here. Got this. We got this. What do I think about Tari's lore? It's fine, actually. I don't think her lore's bad. I think her lore is honestly good. It's not perfect. It has some problems, but it's definitely better than some of the others. Alright, I'm getting out. Who has your favorite lore? Out of the killers, that's tough because the Spirit has really good lore. I don't want to count anyone who's like a licensed killer. Like if it's a licensed killer, their lore is their lore. You know, it's not. It's kind of hard to say. Oh, that lore's really good. Like Dracula would be my favorite because I love Dracula, but I can't pick him. The Spirit has really good lore. The Oni has really good lore too. The Knight's lore is okay. The Trapper's lore is decent. The Doctor's lore is good too. There are some good ones. I'd have to go with either the Spirit or the Oni because both of them I think have very, very good lore. Both of them have very, very good lore. What about Oni's lore? I said Oni. I said the Oni's lore. It's like I'm talking to myself. Anyway. Whew. I feel better now that I've let all that off my chest. You know, like I feel better now that I've said all that I had to say. Because I've been sitting on that for a while. I was so mad at that lore. And yes, I will sit down. I will write original lore for this character. I will write original lore for the Houndmaster. I will keep it a black woman in the same period, but I will make it better. I guarantee you I will write this and I will make it as good as I possibly can, and we will not betray pirates everywhere. Because you know what this means now, guys? You know what's really sad about the Houndmaster's lore? You know what's saddest about it? Because she's a pirate now, they're not going to add an actual pirate killer. They're going to say, we've got one. We've got a pirate killer. We've got the Houndmaster. And I'm going to say, ah! Uwu, Lord of Kawaiis. Oh, no. Oh, no. Uwu. Your duty's not done, brother. Hold fast to your hose. All right. Whew. You know, I actually feel a little worn out after that long tangent. That Yunjin looks like she'd completely change my trajectory of preferred women if I saw her at a mall as a teen. Well, yeah, the woman I'm playing is pretty damn ugly, so... And what's sad is if she just grew out her hair and just tried a little, she could look very nice. But no, we live in the age of ugly. Everyone and everything must be ugly as sin. Yeah, it's a good point, Sushi. Why wasn't Moloch the survivor? Sure, he'd be a dick, but he'd be a survivor. Wouldn't that make way more sense? I guess they didn't want a villain to be the survivor, and I'm like, come on. You didn't even make this survivor enough of a villain. Uh-oh. A scream. That could mean a lot of things. It could mean we're up against the doctor. It's the clown. I'm going to try this new perk out. I haven't used it yet, so we're going to see how it works. I just hate how long it takes. And shit, he knows. It matters not. I did what I set out to do. Be upset about it, clown. I'm your first hook. Time to see if that perk is really useful. Really, it's not. I'll be honest. I don't think this perk is useful at all. It's not nearly as good as the other invocation. Like, it's pretty useless. Yeah, this perk is useless. When I get to her video, I'll just talk about how useless this perk is. Because I don't see it being at all useful. Thank you. Bye. Oh, there, it finally worked. It actually worked. Not that it means anything. Oh, he's guarding. He's guarding the basement. Y'all, just work on a gen. Work on a gen. The invocation perk, it highlights the orders of survivors and the killer when you're in the terror radius. Only if the killer disturbs a crow. Only if the killer disturbs a crow. So there is a catch. What if Apollyon was a killer on DVD? I think the Knight's as close as we're going to get to that. And I find that ultimately useless. With all the other fantastic aura reading perks out there, I feel like that's just stupid. I'm out. There, I got a Deptari. Huh! I've already got Adept Houndmaster. I got that earlier. I'll be honest, that perk is useless. And you might say, oh, it's not useless, Raven. No, it's not useless, but for what it costs, for the price of being broken for the rest of the trial, no. No, that's useless. Alright. Time to play the killer. Let's go ahead and boost your blood web a bit. All right. Most of her personal perks aren't that good. No quarter is decent, but I'm gonna get rid of it. Let's go with Friends Till the End. Scourge Hook Pain Resonance is fine. Nowhere to Hide is fine. In fact, I prefer it. And let's go with... This is Scourge Hook Jagged Compass. Nah, let's get rid of that one. Because honestly, what this does is, if I hook a survivor on a Scourge Hook, the ore of the generator with the most progress is revealed in yellow for 10 seconds, and that's cool, but Scourge Hook Pain Resonance will automatically explode the generator with the most progress, so yeah, that's a better perk overall, so I'm going to keep that. Let's go barbecue and chili so that I can... Because I like aura reading builds. Aura reading builds are my bread and butter. I prefer those, honestly. Let's throw in an Ivory Memento Mori so that I can kill the Obsession, because that is my order. And... these add-ons should be fine. Let's do it. Hey Raven, have you seen the Bone Chill cosmetics? I like Huntress's new cosmetic. It's based off of Winter Spirit from Welsh mythology. I haven't looked at them, honestly. Killer's Fang Min's name is Killer's girlfriend. That's funny. Dwight's name is Sleepy Sloth. All right. They look like a decent team, and that Dwight is probably going to be a flashlight saver. That's fine. That's fine. Alright, and if you want my opinion on the Houndmaster's gameplay, it's honestly okay. I don't dislike it. It takes some getting used to, though. It's like Deathslinger combined with Dracula's wolf form, I'll be honest. It's like Deathslinger combined with Dracula's wolf form, which is neat, but it takes some getting used to. Don't expect me to play well. I'm still not great with her. Like I said, I got one 4K with her, which is how I got her Adept, but I'm not great with her. So don't sit here looking like, oh man, Raven's about to destroy him. I'm probably not, if I'm being honest. Oh, they've got a lot of chests. They want to get a lot of chests, huh? Okay, well, what they're probably doing is they're probably running a build using some chest perks, like where if you rummage through a chest, you get a token to speed up gen progression. So that's probably what they're doing. I love how after my rant and ramble, I lost like 20 of my viewers. It's crazy. Oh, not this map.
We're coming for ya.
You know what's sad? I actually like her voice. I think she's got a good voice. The voice actress is clearly giving it her all. But it's still just... It's a good thing that I'm looking at this in the first person. I don't have to look at her the whole time. First, let's break this. see her.
Now.
I know where you are. Let's go. Yeah, I had to let that happen. Oh, he's got a speedy flashlight out. Okay. All right, let's start the chase. Yeah, this is what we're doing. You know, cancel that, cancel that. We're gonna bamboozle this guy. Ah, just missed him. Just missed him. That sucks. All right, well, he's up there. He's just trying to lure me into chases. I'm not gonna let him. I hate that they added that. I do not like that. I do not like that. The idea that you can see highlighted generators that are finished. I do not like that. Because it makes me confused. It's making me like, why is that highlighted? I guess that didn't work out. Break it. This is so buggy. I'm not gonna lie. This is a very buggy killer.
Now. Yeah.
Found him. He snuck into the basement. Little rat. I hate this is a bad map for her because of all the obstacles and walls in her way. And if this dog runs into anything, he's suddenly useless. This dog is useless at a wall. I've already heard a lot of people saying that you shouldn't get this killer. First, let's break this. I know he's here.
Fine.
Really, bro?
Now.
How did I miss that? Still hit him. This isn't a good place to show off his powers. It's just so hard to get a hit. Got him! Damn it. First, let's break this. Like I said, it's so hard to get this. Again, buggy as fuck. The paths show that he'd go around the corner, but he then runs straight into the corner. Horrible, horrible killer design. They need to fix this. They really need to fix it. Still hit her. Haha. Got her. Let's go ahead and put her on the scourge hook.
Enough theatrics.
Dracula said it better.
Now.
Like I said, this map is awful for this killer. You've got a buggy killer that constantly has her dog just running into things. So that this map already doesn't work well for her. Still hits you. Be proud of that. I mean, missed! He should have a wider hit radius, I swear.
Now.
You're effing kidding me. Fine, I'll break it. Fuck. This killer is so dog shit, literally. Lore is terrible, gameplay's interesting, but it's buggy as hell. Are you kidding? Y'all saw this. Y'all saw this. Snug literally jumped the window as he did, but didn't catch him. What is this killer? Who designed this? Who designed this? Who thought this was ready for completion? I would have preferred a pirate killer. This isn't a pirate killer. This is a joke. This is the clown killer right here. This is a bad joke. Got him.
Loyal one, aren't Stop your whining.
Yep, they were ready to sabo that hook.
Now.
Again, easy to dodge this killer. This is just what we're doing.
Now.
This is actual dog shit. awful map. I'm picking a new map. If I play this killer again, I'm picking a different map that'll actually work better. Because this is a terrible map for me.
Go.
This is a terrible map for me.
Catch.
There's nothing I can do. All they have to do is stay behind their fucking wall and they're good to go. See, look at this. I can't do nothing.
Now.
Good job, boy. What, he wasn't injured? You mean my dog grabbed him and he wasn't... Great killer design. Great killer design. Fantastic. Deathslinger laughs at this. Deathslinger mocks you. Deathslinger finds you atrociously written and atrociously done. Actual terrible game design. Like, this is awful. This is awful. Boy, it's actually awful. Yeah. Don't get this chapter, guys. Do not. Not worth it. Why would you want it? You can't even go down Bro, the dog can't even jump down a fucking... The dog can't even jump down an effing... That's incredible. There. Now this guy's gonna go for the flashlight save, so let's make sure he doesn't. Just piss poor killer design. They need to fix her. They need to fix her. This is terrible. They need to fix her. This is terrible. You look atrocious, your lore's atrocious, your gameplay is buggy as all get out. This was a failure of a killer. This was an absolute failure of a killer. Yeah, and all of them did better than me in points, even though I killed one of them. Who will come on top, Ruth or Helena? What are you talking about? Yeah, the Deathslinger is a way better killer than this. Like, most of the killers are better than this.
Prepare yourself, you old son.
Prepare for what? A buggy match? Alright. Waste of an offering there, I gotta admit, but let's do a place where I might actually have a chance. In duel, I think Raiders are a little better than Wardens overall, so I'm probably going to say Helena. But in terms of training, Ruth has years and years of training, so it's hard to call. It's hard to call. I'm going to go with Damage Photo. Ormond will probably be a little bit more easy for me to get around. So let's go with that. Yeah, Ormond is probably going to be the best map for her right now. Because what she needs is she needs open maps. She needs maps where she can control Snug a lot easier, and Snug won't run the risk of bumping into things. Because right now the big problem is Snug will just, even if the path says he'll move around this corner, he'll still bump into that corner and just stop. And then he becomes useless, and then it's a waste of an ability. In order to really make Snug work for you, you need to be in an open place where you have a little bit more maneuverability. You might say, oh no, you need tight spaces where the survivors can't dodge around Snug. Trust me, they'll dodge around Snug. This will be the last match of the night. Two matches as the new survivor, 2 matches as the new killer. That's all I'm offering. That's all I'm doing. All right, let's do it.
You smell that fish and swine? There be filthy rats out and about.
Okay, what line was that? It was a very strange line.
Sick. Fire. Catch.
Again! All she has to do is jump the thing at the right moment, and Snug is useless! Screw this, guys. Oh my lord.
Now.
Guys, this is actually ridiculous. This is actually ridiculous.
Go.
Yeah, the voice actors just find work. The lines are bad.
Yes.
As I said before, you can fashion turd into whatever shape you want. Turd is still a turd. This killer's shit. This killer's shit. I love how everyone was saying in the demo, oh, she's fun, she's really fun, you're gonna love this killer. Nah, she's shit. She's shit. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. That's not subjective, by the way. That is objective. She is shit. This killer is dog shit. Yeah, all you gotta do is smash the dog in the face and he's useless. It's literally like having a ranged killer who is not... You know what this is? I figured it out. One of the benefits of having a ranged killer is ranged killers don't have to worry as much about pallets. This is the first ranged killer who actually still has to worry about pallets. This is the first ranged killer who still has to worry about pallets.
Sick.
Someone want to tell me how I missed that? Again, like, I wouldn't mind so much if maybe it broke the pallet when she slammed it, but no. How the fuck did that happen? Someone explain that magic to me.
Sick. Catch.
Got her. Are you effed? Are you actually effed? Are you actually effed right now? I'm so fascinated by this character.
Enough theatrics.
You want to let me highlight it? Thank you. So useless. Actually useless. Actually useless. This character is such a character. Yeah, useless as fuck. Who thought of this character? Who thought this was a good idea? Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah. This is your big new killer.
Now. Loyal one, aren't you?
Useless. 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 I can't use my dog. There's no way the dog will catch her. She'll just drop that pallet like she did just there. And she'd stop the dog. And it'd be useless. I wouldn't mind if maybe the dog broke the pallet when she hit it. But no, it doesn't even do that. Am I not supposed to get a speed boost by following the dog's path? Where'd the speed boost go? I'm so confused by this killer. What the? Wasn't she down a minute ago? I quit. This game. Fuck this game. DBD, I'm going to say it for the record. You made a shit killer. You made a shit killer. Anyone who said this killer was fun was paid to say so.
Now.
Anyone who thought this killer was fun was paid to say so. This is a shit killer. Let's see if you can at least reach that. You can't even run the full distance to get to the exit gate. You can't even... Okay, The one moment where I'm like, okay, there's no way this can't work. The dog can run over and pull them off the exit gate. The dog has a limit to their run. The dog has a limit to their run. No, screw that. 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 Get it. Yeah, whatever. Whatever. What a character. What a killer. What great killer design. What great... No. What great killer design. I can't wait to do her video. I can't wait to do her video. And I can't wait for all the people who comment on this video or that video saying you're just racist. That's why you don't like her. You're racist. Like, screw that. Screw that. Yeah, totally. Yeah, I'm racist. F this killer. They're all just hanging out. They're just waiting on me to come over so they can butt dance. Hey, we beat you. We beat probably the worst killer in the game right now. Do they want me to come over there? Yeah, I get it. I get it. You won. Leave. This is one of the worst killers they've ever released. This is absolute ass. From the lore, to the design, to the ability. This killer's shit. If you want a ranged killer that pallets might do anything against, Deathslinger's better in every regard. Deathslinger is just worlds better in every regard. If you want a killer with good lore, the Oni is better in every regard. If you want a black killer that is more fun to play, the Doctor is better in every regard. This killer is disgustingly bad. This killer is disgustingly bad. Trickster's a better killer than this.
This should be fast.
Should be fast? Yeah, you're gonna lose fast, lady. Let's be real. This killer is disgustingly bad. And you know what? To add insult to injury, let's take a look at her perks. I actually want to take a look at her perks and discuss if they're at all good. First one, no quarter. That's such a great design for the perk face, too. Just slap her face on there with a smirk. Ugh. Anyway. When a survivor reaches 75% healing progress while self-healing, they are faced with continuous skill checks. If one of these skill checks is missed or the heal is interrupted, the survivor suffers from the broken status fit for 30 seconds. Okay. That's not that great, because most of the time survivors are going to be healed by their fellows. The only time they're going to heal themselves is if they have a med kit or if they have... self-care, but most survivors don't even run self-care anymore because they actually have friends who will help them out or faster med kits, so don't even know why they'd run that. But not a big fan of that. Let's see the rest of them. Where are they? Where are they? Here's one. All Shaking Thunder. After you fall from a height, your lunge attack distance is increased by 75% for 12 seconds. This perk has a 5-second cooldown. That is nice some of the time, I will admit. That is nice some of the time, I will admit. That is a nice power to counter some of the survivor perks. So I'll grant that one's okay. Scourge Hook, Jagged Compass. At the start of the trial, up to 4 random hooks are changed into Scourge Hooks. You see the ores in white. When a survivor is unhooked from a hook, it becomes a Scourge Hook. When you hook a survivor on a Scourge Hook, the ore of the generator with the most progress is revealed in yellow for 10 seconds. That's not nearly as good as Scourge Hook Pain Resonance. Scourge Hook Pain Resonance is just better because not only because it'll let you know which generator is the closest to completion and will explode that generator. The only good thing about this perk is it will turn an unhooked from perk into a Scourge Hook. That's the only good thing about this one. So her perks aren't even worth it. Now let's take a look at her power. I actually want to analyze her power. Chase. The chase command sends the dog out at high speed. Pressing the power button again redirects the chase, pivoting the dog's path. When the dog catches a survivor, the dog starts a grab. The survivor becomes hindered and is pulled toward the Houndmaster. The survivor can get free by stunning the dog or can be rescued by another survivor. Grabs at end without injury, leave the survivor hindered. Grab duration is shorter for survivors with the endurance status effect. So what this literally says is a grab can be done without injuring them. If they stun the dog and get away, they can... No, they should be injured. I feel like they should be injured if the dog catches them, because it's already so difficult to land that grab. Special ability, search. The search command sends the dog to a target location. Crafting a search path. It has its own lullaby, and as it moves, its hound sense radius rises over distance traveled. Survivors who enter the radius are affected by hound sense and revealed by killer instinct. If the Houndmaster follows the dog's search path, she gains increased movement speed over time. Leaving the search path ends the bonus movement speed. My problem with that is that it has a lullaby. It'll warn the survivors that it's coming, and it does not have a very large search radius, and because of that, it means that most survivors can avoid it very easily. Pretty useless. Special effect, Hound Sense. Healthy survivors affected by Hound Sense receive deep wounds when injured. Injured survivors affected by Hound Sense suffer from loud grunts of pain and longer pools of blood when put into the dying state. Again, pretty much useless. No, like, most of this power is pretty bad. And what's worse is it could be good if it wasn't for the fact that it is so buggy. The dog will just run into shit. And there's no bit... Like, again, you're the first ranged killer who actually has to worry about pallets. The Huntress does not have to worry about pallets. She can throw things over the pallets. The Deathslinger can shoot over the pallets and still injure the target. The Trickster can throw over the pallets and still injure the target. You can lose your quarry if they drop a pallet on your dog. Worthless killer. Worthless killer. Absolutely disgusting. Okay, this is awful. Iridescent Wheel Hander. I wanted to see like some of her add-ons. This add-on's terrible. Okay. Increases the time the dog lingers at a search destination by 20%. That's dumb, because usually while they're lingering there, nothing's happening. Because most survivors have run away from the area, so it means that they're just spending more time there. While the dog is running to and from the search destination, the Houndmaster gains the undetectable status effect. Okay, but considering the dog can't run too far, that's a very limited amount of time. Standing on the search path removes the undetectable status effect. Do you know how dumb that is? You need the search path to get your movement speed increase. So you need to either choose, am I undetectable or do I get my movement speed increase? That's awful.
Oh, no. Patience.
This is awful. You just made the worst killer you could, couldn't you? I'm sorry, Freddy Krueger. I'm sorry I said you were the worst. You're at least somewhat capable. This is terrible. This is so terrible. You know what? I'm also going to come up with better perks. I'm going to come up with better perks than this. This is disgustingly bad. This is disgusting. All right. Anyway, that's all the time I have for tonight. I'm pissed. I'm pissed off. This was an awful night. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys enjoyed me ripping this killer a new one. This is such an awful killer. You know what I find funny? A few people were telling me, hey man, just wait for the killer to come out. Once the killer comes out, it'll be really interesting. Killer's out. Still terrible. In fact, worse than I thought it would be. The lore is worse than I thought it would be. I'm done. All right. Night, guys. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.